difference between impersonating and authenticating, right? You can't authenticate wretchedness with righteousness. You can't. You can impersonate wretchedness and you can impersonate righteousness, right? But you can't authenticate righteousness. You can't because that authentication can only come from God Himself.
And you know, authenticity is one of the most powerful frequencies in the universe.
Yes.
And this is why a lot of rappers can't break certain stuff. Because they evolve past the music they make, so it's no longer authentic. And they don't know how to make music that's currently connected to the frequency of intellect that they own and the level of maturity that they at. They don't have an audience for it. So now, if they make music about what they're really into, entrepreneurship, right, eating right, working out, getting your family together, right, learning principles and morals, right, traveling around the world, right, just learning how to communicate better and emotionally regulate themselves. Right, so they're like, man, if I actually present myself in an authentic way, then I lose my life. Right? And so they had to learn how to make that pivot to where they have a mature audience, because you can advance further than your audience to where they like, nah, we're not rocking with you because the feeling that I come to you for, you're not giving me. Because you are a drug. And every drug, you take a drug, you're on a certain stimulation. And we're not getting you that high. That's about getting a drug for it. Right? And a lot of people are drugged to their fan base. I come to you to be on a certain high. I need to be stimulated in this way. Right? That's, you know, a large percentage of the population got ADHD. You need to be stimulated. And that stimulation is saying that, goddamn, bro, how come I'm not getting that same feeling that you used to? You want to know, you trying to kick me out? But there's a way that you can do it, but it's hard. And for some, it's just not going to work for you. I can be honest. Then you probably can't make very positive music that nobody will listen to. So then that becomes that gray area where you should have never depended so much, right, on this thing that you can't do for God and be beneficial at the same time. So that's where it's like, all right, learn how to set up a plan so that you can shift industry. Right now you have influence, go partner. That's why financial literacy is so important, right? Because, well, you could have invested your money, right? And it could have been giving you a year-over-year return, right? You could have got equity in these things. If you're making the right decisions now, you're not dependent, right, on trying to keep that same hype up by doing the same thing that you know you disconnected from. You're not going to explode and go any further because it's no longer even connected to an authenticity of who you are and where you are today whatsoever. So it's the fakeness. For me, for real, that's the issue. Is that, bro, I know you surpass, right, what you represent and you present. Because I know you want to represent more. Let me ask you a question. Cash Money Records. You know the whole big thing about Super Bowl. Right. Two questions. What has Cash Money? You know, they said they sell more records than everybody. Right. You know, that's what he said. He said, we didn't have it all. We just sold it all. We did that. So that means that they have greatly impacted New Orleans in a very positive way and built communities and things of that nature. You know what? And the second one, I want to let you get a longer answer to that. How do you feel when Lil Wayne kiss baby?
When Lil Wayne kiss baby. Man, Wayne is a few years older than me, and I just felt like he had been indoctrinated into a lifestyle that Baby normalized for. I never thought they were gay. To this day, never thought they were gay. I just feel like, I just feel like there was a lifestyle that Baby normalized and showed them like, yo, this is what we do. Whether it's mob mentality, or whether it's just, you really my son, or whether it's just, this just gonna get people talking. And here we are 20 years later and we're still talking about it, you know what I mean? And knowing how media works and knowing how impressions and press works, whatever of those three it was, I just felt like it was Wayne being influenced. Because I know how influenced I have been by my father and my grandfather. So imagine, why would I think Lil Wayne is any different? Of course he's gonna be extremely influenced by the guy he calls his father. You know what I mean? So I look at it like that, man, we got two types of people in this world. We got OGs and DGs. And DG is a disappointing grown-up. You feel me? We want to call everybody an OG just because they're elder statesmen.
No.
Man, we got a lot of disappointing grown-ups in this world right now. To where, yeah, you've been around for a while, but you're 50 with the mentality of a 20-year-old.
Wow.
So you've wasted 30 years of your life to where it's a disconnect between how you're growing in age versus how you're growing in mental maturity.
Yeah.
You feel me? And when you talk about the impact, before I even get to the impact question on how various record labels have impacted my community and other communities, we gotta stop calling these people legends, bro. The word legend is the most overused term in hip hop. Let's complete that sentence.
Let me look at that. What's the actual definition?
Yeah, legend. Tell me what it said, bro.
The legend?
Right, legends. You feel me?
Alright, so it comes from the roots, legenda, meaning things to be read, originally referred to stories and narratives, and are written down to be read out loud, particularly about saints' lives. Over time, the term evolved to refer to any traditional story or myth that is widely regarded as historical, but not entirely verified. So, you know, it don't have to actually be verifiable to be a legend, right? It can be a story that serves to convey values, morals, and historical context of a particular group or civilization, and in this reference, you know, a person. In modern usage, it says it's often applied to people or figures who have achieved a status of high regard, influence, and fame. I think the problem more so is that the word doesn't mean as much as we give the credence for. Because we think that, you know, I think in the way that you're using it, in the way that you're breaking it down, like, anybody can be a legend if they become highly known, regarded, stories are spread about them.
That's why I said, Keys, let's complete that sentence and let's start saying this person is a legend at. And if you have to complete that sentence, you're going to realize that a lot of people that we just call legends and they hide behind that title, they're actually a legend at poisoning their own community.
Wow.
They're a legend at brainwashing their own community. They're a legend at making kill the black community music. They're a legend at making music glorify how much dope they sell. Once we complete that sentence, they're a legend at prostituting what's in between their legs, the power of the PUS and the life. You know what I mean? They're a legend at disrespecting women. At that point, you might not question that these people are legends, but once you realize what they're a legend at, it'll make us stop having such reverence for these people. Because people hide behind that term of being legends so much so that we feel like, well, a legend needs to be celebrated. Sometimes these legends need prayer. Sometimes these legends need prayer because of what they're a legend at. So that's the problem in hip hop. We won't go all the way that far. And now we get to a point where hip hop has turned 51 years old. So because hip hop is intergenerational, you have parents who are brainwashing their own kids because they're teaching their kids that this person is a legend right here. This person been around forever and they do their thing. And now we got people feeling a sense of entitlement to being able to perform here or being able to make the Hall of Fame when it comes to this, or having to celebrate the 25-year or 30-year anniversary of their album dropping because they're considered a legend. But that's the problem, brother. We have to bump the system, brother. We have to cancel the whole culture at this point. At a certain point,
Throw
when
away
a
the
car
baby
gets
with
into
the
an accident,
bathwater.
right? A car gets hit by a train. If that car is messed up beyond a certain point, they say, well, you gotta total it out. You gotta total it out because of how much damage has been done to it. Hip hop has been damaged and compromised for longer than it has been cured. At this point, it's been 30 some odd years since hip hop has been, I'm talking about totally damaged by capitalism. Totally damaged by people having, executives having another agenda for how to prostitute this culture to poison our community. It was only pure for a small amount of time before that consumerism and that capitalism came in.
Some will argue there was never a time it's really been pure. Because, you know, the whole thing, you look at the African Bambaataa thing, right, where they say you used to sexually assault a young man and things of that nature, allegedly. You feel me? Then that would be at the beginning for a lot of people, right? So I don't think it's ever pure, right? But I think that there was a different purpose for it, right? And the purpose was fight the system, right? The purpose was
reflect some of the stories and the horrors that happened to us and share them to the world. Like, we shouldn't be the only ones forced to go through this. The force was, we're going to get to have our voice, and you're going to hear our pain, right? But also showcase our artistry, right? When we look at certain, and this is where you get certain apostles of hip hop, right? Like Tupac, you feel me? Was somebody that became this archetype that people wanted to become. But the problem is that they lacked the integrity that was needed in the sacrifices that he had to make. Because he wasn't only a person that could make hits, he was a great storyteller, he was a poet, right? But he also had the street darkness that he needed as well to have the appeal to the masses, right? He shot off duty police, right? Dealing with somebody, but he was also somebody that was convicted and charged of rape. That, of course, most people believe is false. But and he had parents that were Black Panthers. There was this dichotomy of this character that he became. He was very prophetic in the things that he said, right? The way he did interviews was a style that most rappers had adopted. It was some of it like this disrespectful, even like lazy style. I don't give a type of attitude. Right, but then he was also industrious. He wanted to start Bad Boys West, the East Coast, right? But then he pioneered beef and rap. You know what I'm saying? He was also fashionable, wearing a Versace, being at the runway, one of the first rappers to do it to get everybody else on it. So I believe that you had so many people that became bigger than the thing that they were doing. They became icons, right? Tupac ain't just legendary; he's iconic.
Yes, sir.
Right? To the point everybody wanted to be like Pop. And even to this day, people are still trying to emulate that Pop energy.
Yeah.
You feel me? And so the issue is that it didn't go, we gotta say in the nation where we say settle on the best part. Right?